Hi everyone, welcome to episode 4 of the Tainted Lands Mist of Mournton. So my name is Shondell. I'll be playing Junie, and this is my character journal for that episode. So basically this one is kind of eventful but uneventful. A lot happened in a really short period of time. So in terms of Junie's perspective, this is how things went down. So the day after returning from rescuing Killian and all that stuff happening, like, it was really crazy. Most of us got back to Mournton and just, like, kind of drank ourselves a little stupid. By most of us, I mean me. So when I woke up, basically it was bad. It was really bad, like really, really bad. But I did manage to get out of bed because I knew I had to meet everybody at the Leering Star to say goodbye to Killian and Sweet Roll. So I managed to get out of bed, go downstairs, and I'm like, I'm gonna make a pot of tea because I was rough. I was in rough shape. But I remembered that Toby had given me the Book of Mirrors that I wanted to look through. So as I'm waiting for my tea to brew and the water to boil and everything like that, I decided to look through this book. That was a bad idea. So I'm flipping through it and I find this fairy tale. It was called The Wind and the Darkness. So I'm flipping through and all of a sudden, okay, this book gave me the worst paper cut I've ever had. Like, it sliced my finger open. Like, it was an ominous, scary, unnatural paper cut. So needless to say, I didn't throw the book out because it wasn't mine to throw out, but I'm like, I'm not touching that thing anymore. So made my tea, get dressed, find my way to the Leering Star, and everybody's already there. Everybody except for Toby, but we'll get to that in a second. So I find everybody and I sit down and, like, I'm still in rough shape. Like, this tea did nothing for me. Thank God for Sir Kay. Like, oh my goodness, thank God for Sir Kay. He used his magic to heal my hangover. So you gotta keep one of those people around. Like, it's key. So after some conversation and talking, we're waiting for Sweet Roll and Killian to come downstairs to see them off because they're leaving on their next leg of their journey. I realize, or a bunch of us realize, that Toby hasn't arrived, which is, if you know Toby, you know that this is really weird because Toby is obsessed. I think he's obsessed with clocks and time. So, like, if you say you need him to be somewhere at a certain time, he will be there. Toby's not there. So I decide that I need to go to Toby's because I'm the only one who knows where he lives. So I get up and I'm like, I'm going to Toby. I gotta find out what's going on. Everybody wants to come, but Sir Kay, it was really funny and really awkward, but I'm like, I don't care, I just need to go see Toby. But Sir Kay, he's like, you guys are gonna stay, like, to Wallace and Wynn, he's like, you guys are gonna stay, and you're gonna wait for Sweet Roll and Killian. They weren't happy, but I was like, we need to get to Toby because something's really wrong. So we go to Toby's house and we walk in, and we find him entranced, like deeply entranced. Like, he was not in this universe. He was gone. In this, like, really ominous, deep purple glow. I mean, if all the crazy stuff that was about to happen didn't actually happen, it would actually be really cool. But it wasn't cool because we walk in, we see this purple everywhere. Toby's, like, gone. He's there, but he's gone. And then these, like, maggots start falling from the ceiling, and they're, like, covering my feet and crawling up my legs, and I immediately just lose it. Oh my God, I was so hysterical. Again, you guys need to keep a Sir Kay around because he just starts, like, slashing and, like, killing everything. He manages to get this gem away from Toby. So Toby comes out of this trance and he's just, like, dazed and confused because he was just gone for whoever knows how long. But the way Sir Kay knocked this gem out, it, like, flew to this, like, pile of papers. So they both dive for it, which causes it to, like, slide underneath this bookshelf. I managed to get this gem and immediately toss it into Sir Kay's bag of holding. So that's good. It's dealt with. But then Sir Kay gives Toby this like weird scroll that we found the day before. It was in Odo's bag, and he gives him this scroll to look at, and it's got this weird black writing on it that none of us can understand. What does it do? It puts Toby into another trance. Luckily, we know what to do. We knew what to do. Okay, rip this scroll out of his hands. But while Toby was in this trance, it was really weird because he kept talking about like how hungry he was and how he had this insatiable hunger for stuff. Like, just, it was weird. It was really, really weird. Kay rips this scroll out of Toby's hands. Everything's back to normal. So we decide to go because, like, obviously Toby talking about being hungry. I'm like, I'm hungry. We're all hungry. We go back to the Leering Star to see Wallace. This guy, Wallace, he's a character. He needs to be watched at all times. Wallace is just covered in blood. Like, completely drenched in blood. And he's just, like, ranting and raving. Like, he's talking so fast I can't even understand him. So I, like, sit him down because he's, like, standing and, like, pacing. So I'm like, sit down. Turn to Wynn because she was there with whatever had happened. She was part of it. But she's actually, like, Wynn was calm and coherent. So I asked Wynn what had happened. Apparently, while we were off saving Toby from this alternate dimension or wherever he went, Wallace had heard this woman screaming outside the Leering Star and bolted out to see this woman in hunting gear being dragged off her horse by this like random cloaked dude. And he noticed that there was a guard ignoring what was happening. So Wallace apparently went up to this guard and was like, you need to do something. And the guard was like, not getting involved. So Wallace took action. He apparently, this is what I mean by he's kind of crazy. Don't tell him I said that though. Like, he's a good guy. He's a little crazy. Apparently he made this cloaked guy get naked or partially naked by casting command to scare him off, which did work. And then Wynn tried because they didn't know who he was. Because they wanted him off this woman, but they wanted to know who he was. So Wynn used entanglement to slow him down, but he like apparently literally disappeared into this cloud of smoke. Like, poof, gone. So I don't know, like, it seems really weird. It seems very odd. But I wasn't there, so I'm going to have to take it at Wynn's word. And Wynn's pretty trustworthy. So if she says that's what went down, I'm going to say that's what went down. So then they realized that this lady that they had just saved was the Lady of Mournton, Emily Mournton, which is really weird, like really crazy. So in order to figure out what the heck had just happened, we had to talk to her, so we asked her to come back to the Leering Star for a pint. I pretty much asked the Lady of Mournton out, which is kind of a no-no, but you know. And she said no, obviously. But then she said if things were safe the next day that she would meet him at the Leering Star. So yeah, after that, we went back into the Leering Star. Killian and Sweetwell came down. We all had a pint because, you know, really weird stuff just happened to the both of us, to all of us. So you gotta calm the nerves somehow. But anyways, Killian and Sweetwell came down. We talked, we had a drink, and then they said they needed to leave, which is really sad. They're really cool people, like they're really good guys. I really hope that we see them again, but they had to leave, so we said our goodbyes and we parted ways. So that is where episode 4 left off. Now that I'm out of character, that was a lot for me to do. Yeah, that was episode 4. Like I said, not a whole lot happened, but a lot also happened at the same time. A lot of stuff happened in a short period of time, it seemed. Like, I would say that was literally... I think that we agreed that we were drinking pints before 11 a.m. So, yeah. But yeah, so you can catch episode 5 Monday at 8 p.m. 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. All right. Bye.